We're starting 4 wide today. Horses are trading postward for race 1. This is the first division of the 2-year-old filly trot, going for a purse of $2,831 and a blanket courtesy of Marion County Farm Bureau. Number 1 is Pleasing Al. Alma Levan Stables in Woodstock, Ohio. Megan Levan of Woodstock, Max Perry of Ohio, and Richard Fries of Northfield, Ohio, trained in it by Hank Levan. Number 2, Hot Mamacita has been drawn. Number 3 is Chip Shot. Owned by John J. Slayball, Millersburg, Ohio, and Walnut View Farm of Walnut Creek, Ohio, trained by Rosie Weaver, the driver Drew Neal. Number 4 is Chart Surfer, owned by the part-time stable in Napoleon, Michigan, trained by Brett Boyd, the driver is Ryan Stahl. Ryan Stahl on number 4, Chart Surfer. Number 5, Castle on the Hill has been drawn. And number 6 is Man, I'm Sassy, owned by Anthony Miller of Dundee, Ohio, and Hagerman Racing of Mount Vernon, Ohio, trained by Herman Hagerman, the driver Emmanuel Miller. Horses will take 1 score and go to the gate. There's Win.
Good morning, racing fans, and welcome to the Marion County Fair here in Marion, Ohio. Susan Schroeder, Doug Ballinger, and Matt Clark on air with you after a sort of a strange start. It looks like we are going to start. We had a tremendous amount of rain here about an hour ago.
Yeah, about an hour, about 10:15. It really came down hard, Susan. The track right in front of us, in front of the grandstand, not getting much sun, is very sloppy there. They're going to score 4 wide. Will be interesting to see if starter Mike Weppenberg has his wings open or closed so he can get it. He did 2 test runs. He did get out of the way.
Yeah.
But so I think we're going to give it a try.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. If we get any more rain, I think we'll be probably done for the day, but we'll go as far and as fast as we can. We still have the sun's out now, and the clouds are looking white and fluffy instead of the dark ones that we had earlier. So hopefully we'll get some of these races in.
On a lot of fair tracks or any track, a hard rain is better than just that slow rain. But
yeah,
this track here, I believe nobody trains here, and it was a downpour, and mainly just in front of the grandstand here is where it's really mucky and sloppy.
Yeah. So the horsemen and the judges have been consulting all morning. Or somebody would go out and jog a little bit, and then they'd come back in and give their 2 cents. So everybody's had plenty of opportunity to get their voices heard today.
So we're going to open it up here, Susan, with a 2-year-old filly trot. We're going to scratch the 2 and the 5. Hank Levan will drive number 1, Pleasing Al. Hank also trains, owned by the Levan Stables and Max Perry and R. Fries. This is a 2-year-old bay filly by In Range. This will be her second start. Made a break at Ottawa, trotted a mile in 2:15, finished 4th. That's the 1, Pleasing Al.
The 2 is a scratch. The 3, Chip Shot, Drew Neal up for trainer Rosie Weaver. John Schlabach and Walnut View Farms are the owners. This is a mission accepted out of a Chapter 7 mare. Has had 2 starts, or 1 start and 1 qualifier. Finished 2nd at Paulding and did trot in 2-5 and 2 at Delaware.
Chart Surfer's a 4. Ryan Stahl gets the drive for the Brett Boyd stable, owned by the part-time stable. This is a 2-year-old bay filly by Muscle Up. The goal, her first career start.
5 is scratched. The 5 is scratched. The 6, Emmanuel Miller drives Man, I'm Sassy for Herman Hagerman. Anthony Miller and Herman Hagerman's Racing are the owners. This is a long tom out of a mare called Pandrosa has had 1 start at Paulding, finished 4th, made some breaks, finished 5th in a qualifier at Scioto Downs, went in 2-1. So let's turn it over to Bill Peters. It looks like the gate does not have any wings open, and we are scoring only 4 wide. So let's turn it over to Bill.
There they come. They're off and trotting. The first horse away is Chip Shot. Down at the rail, second is Pleasing Al. Between horses, third. That is Man, I'm Sassy. And the last horse is Chart Surfer. Making a turn now to head down the backside to race over to that quarter-mile mark. On the outside with the lead is Chip Shot, driven by Drew Neal. Racing in there second is Pleasing Al, driven by Hank Levan. Racing third is Man, I'm Sassy, driven by Emmanuel Miller. The last horse, Chart Surfer, driven by Ryan Stahl. No change as they approach the quarter-mile mark. Still with the lead is Chip Shot. Racing in there close second is Pleasing Al. Then comes Man, I'm Sassy, and Chart Surfer.
32.
First quarter was trotted in 32 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stand for the first time. Chip Shot still shows on top by a length and a half. Still racing in there second is Pleasing Al. Man, I'm Sassy racing third, and Chart Surfer trails. Coming down to the half-mile mark, that's Drew Neal and Chip Shot bringing the horses down to the half. Moving up on the outside second, that's Man, I'm Sassy. At the rail third, Pleasing Al. And moving up fourth is Chart Surfer. Four trotters well bunched as they race past the half-mile mark. First half trotted in 108. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over to the three-quarter mile mark. Chip Shot shows the lead along the rail. Pouring on the pressure on the outside second is Man, I'm Sassy. Moving up third is Chart Surfer. At fourth is Pleasing Al. Going toward that three-quarter mile mark. Still with the lead now. Taking over on the outside now is Man, I'm Sassy. Racing at the rail second is Chip Shot. Third is Pleasing Al. And off stride fourth momentarily went Chart Surfer.
140.
Three quarters was trotted in 140 as they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. Still with the lead, now with the lead is Man, I'm Sassy. Coming back on the outside is Chip Shot. Pleasing Al racing right there third. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. Chip Shot takes over on the outside. Coming back second is Man, I'm Sassy. It's Chip Shot and Man, I'm Sassy as they race through the lane. Chip Shot and Man, I'm Sassy. It's going to be Chip Shot, and here's the outcome. Pleasing Al up for place, up for show is Man, I'm Sassy. 213.
Well, Susan, we got one in for Philly Trotters. I believe there was one break, and that was past the 5/8. That was the 4 Chart Surfer making her first career start. They trotted a mile in 2:13, and Chip Shot, the 2-year-old brown filly by Mission Accepted, and Drew Neal for the Rosie Weaver stable takes the opener.
Nice looking bunch of horses coming to the half where they were all right there and looked really, really good. And I didn't think they looked too dirty, the horses, so maybe it's not quite as bad as we are thinking. Yeah. Somebody coming up to get their sticker for their passport, so we've got those going too. So if you are here or if you're going to be attending a fair soon and you haven't got your passport yet, make sure you stop by the broadcast booth to get that.
If you noticed, starter Mike Wepkenberg, we're scoring only 4 wide. The track is pretty messy here in front of us. He is getting away, but no wings are open just for safety.
Yeah.
You know, that will help him get away much better. So most probably, most of the day will be like that, even if we can keep going. As you mentioned just a few minutes ago before we kick this first one off. If there's much more rain, I don't know.
Yeah.
From Millersburg and Walnut Creek comes number 3, Chip Shot, owned by John Shea Slaybaugh and Walnut View Farm, trained by Rosie Weaver, and driven to victory here this morning by Drew Neal. Now the blanket for this race is courtesy of Marion County Farm Bureau. And we have 6 divisions of this race, so there's just one blanket, but we'll take the picture here. We'll have to wait until after the last division to determine the actual blanket winner. But the winner of the first division is Chip Shot. And here for Rosie Weaver, Joe Yoder, Drew Neal, and Chip Shot, and the Marion County Farm Bureau, the donors of the blanket.
Okay, we should be getting the official results in just a minute from Bill Peters.
Chip Shot returns $260, 3-1 exact to $3.40. Rosie Weaver picks up the early win. Rosie has 10 head in today, so it's going to be a big day for the Weaver stable. The Clegg stable with 9, Chris Beaver 7, Urban Hagerman 6.
I mean, we have so many, like we've got 6 divisions of this 2-year-old filly trot.
Al was second. Number 2, Hunt Mamacita had been drawn. Number 3, Chip Shot was the winner. Number 4, Chart Surfer was fourth. Number 5, Castle on the Hill had been drawn. And number 6, Man I'm Sassy was third. Time of the first quarter was 32 seconds. The half was in 1:08, the 3/4 in 1:40, and the mile in 2:15. Change that time to 2:15 instead of 2:13. Mile time was 2:15. From the top it should read 2 scratch 1, 4 scratch 3, a mile in 2:15. Coming race 2, number 1, Catch Up If You Can. The driver will be Emmanuel Miller. Emmanuel Miller will drive number 1, Catch Up If You Can.
A couple other changes to let you know about in that second race. So Manny Miller on the 1, Braden Rhodes on the 4, I'm a Sassy 2, and Squaw, the 6, is Curtis Harper.
Second race, Susan, will be a 2-year-old filly trot. This another division. I believe the first was a filly trot. All fillies today, I guess. A field of 7, so we'll have 3 trailers.
3 trailers.
Three
Ooh,
trailers.
That will be interesting, 3 trailers. We'll come right back and take a look at all the horses in this race right after these messages.
At Ohio State's Galbraith Equine Center, our veterinary champions are here for your champions 24/7, 365 days a year, providing advanced specialty care for sports horses from all stages and disciplines. Our expert team of boarded surgeons and sports medicine and rehabilitation specialists, together with veterinary cardiologists, internal medicine, and ophthalmologists, make our hospital your best resource for all sports horse performance issues. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center's Galbraith Equine Hospital. Call us today at 614-292-6661.
When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1976, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at bigdweb.com for fast shipping. Most orders ship that day. Or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.
Well, we're back here at the Marion County Fair. Susan, up next, 2-year-old filly Pace, $16,670. Field is 7, beginning with 1, Catch Up If You Can. Emmanuel Miller picks up the drive for Brian Boring. This is a 2-year-old bay filly by Catch the Fire, making her first career start, but she was a $32,000 Ohio Select purchase.
Lover's Waltz, Pierce Henry up for trainer Robert Brooks. This is a Racing Hill out of a Yankee Cruiser mare, Sweetheart Dance, owned by Ivy Holdings from Apple Creek, Ohio. This was a $75,000 purchase at the Ohio Selected Sale, and I looked this horse up, and the second dam has produced 3 horses that are $500,000 winners, so that's obviously why this horse costs a little bit extra. So Lover's Waltz had a start at Paulding, finished 3rd. It's in a qualifier at Delaware, and then raced at Ottawa. Sorry, I couldn't read that. Ottawa, and finished 4th. So let's join the post parade. Sounds like they're coming to the post parade, or not? I guess not. They're all over.
Well, the 3 is Yankee Moonlight. Ed Conrad trains and drives for the Gem Stable. This is a 2-year-old bay filly by Yankee Cruiser out of Liz Mara mare Always Sunday. She making her first career start.
This is the first division of the 2-year-old filly Pace, going for a purse of $3,374 and a blanket courtesy of Nicholas Fisher. 1 is Catch Up If You Can, owned by Doug Hartung Jr. of Adrian, Michigan, trained by Brian Boring, the driver Emmanuel Miller. Number 2 is Lover's Waltz, owned by Ivy Holdings of Apple Creek, Ohio, trained by Robbie Brooks, the driver Pierce Henry. Number 3 is Yankee Moonlight, owned by the Gem Stables LLC of Hudson, Michigan, trained and driven by Ed Conrad. Number 4 is I Am a Sissy 2, owned by Kimber Clegg of Matamoros, Pennsylvania, trained by Betty Clegg, the driver Braden Rhodes. Number 5 is T. Swifty Babe, All my Watson Harness Racing of Tiffin, Ohio. Kendall Suki, also of Tiffin. William Hart of Carmel, Maine. And N.L. Weininger of Tiffin, Ohio. Trained and driven by Ryan Stahl. Number 6 is Squaw, all by Frederick Reed IV of Delaware, Ohio, trained by Ron Stack, the driver, Curtis Harper. And number 7 is Denson Excitedly, all by Suzanne Bates of Gibsonburg, Ohio, trained by Ty Bates, the driver, Drew Neal.
So we'll give you a little bit more information, starting with the 4. I'm a Sissy 2. Braden Rhodes will drive for Betty Clegg. Kimber Clegg is the owner. This is a well-said filly out of an Aces and 7 mare. Sissy Bar was a $1,000 purchase at the Buckeye Classic sale. That's quite unusual to be that low. This horse has started at Paulding, Circleville, and Ottawa. Finished 6th. Paced in 2:12 at Paulding first start, but got considerably better at Circleville and Ottawa, where she paced in 2:4-3 and 2:4-1.
Ryan Stahl will drive number 5, T Swifty Babe. Stahl also trains a 2-year-old bay filly by Kuma Lade out of the Real Desire mare, Real Ravishing. Owned Watson Harness, Jay Stuckey, W. Hart, and L. Weingartner of Ohio. T Swifty Babe is yet to hit the board. It's her first career start, coming off a qualifier last week at Delaware, where she cut some fractions out of 32 and a piece, 103 and 132 and 4. Just got beat, finished second, pacing her mile on 2:01 and 3. That's the 5, T Swifty Babe.
The 6, Squaw, Curtis Harper will drive for trainer Ron Steck. Frederick Reed IV from Delaware, Ohio, is the owner of this lather-up filly. She's out of a Pet Rock mare, Gammy's Rockstar. Has had one qualifier, finished 5th in that qualifier, but was individually timed in 2-3 and 2 at Delaware.
7, Dancing Excitedly. Drew Neal drives for Tyler Bates, a 2-year-old bay filly by Dancing Yankee out of the Western Ideal mare, Exciting Ideal. Now, this is a homebred from the Bates stable. This is her second career start. She raced at Paulding back on June 9th, finished 7th distance. The mile was in 5 and 3. So that's a look at the field for a second race. Ohio Fair Racing Conference, 2-year-old filly pace. Total purse is $16,670. This division for $3,374.
Yeah, with 5 divisions of these 2-year-old filly pacers, it really does cut the purse down.
Cuts the purse down.
Yeah.
We're going to, well, I know we opened things up at Paulding. I think there was 20 races one night, 18 or so another. We went to Circleville. I believe we had 15 on a Saturday and 17 on that Sunday. Last week, Tuesday and Wednesday at Ottawa, we had can't remember.
I can't remember either, was it?
And I was the announcer.
Yeah.
18 each night, 17
Yeah.
each night, I think.
Yeah.
And but it'll thin out here. You're going to start to double up on the fairs, and some of these 2-year-olds, they'll just start them to give them some experience.
Yeah.
They know they're not going to really make it, so they'll go to the field.
Some of them may go up too.
Yeah.
You just never know. But they have 23 qualifiers at Scioto today.
And
so
mainly 2-year-olds probably.
Yeah. So there's a lot of horses out. Okay, looks like they're headed behind the gate. Again, we are scoring just 4 wide, and Mike is not opening the wings on the gate, make it a little bit easier. So we will turn this over to Bill Peters for the call of the second from Marion.
Here they come. Here off and pacing the first horse away is Lover's Waltz. In their second is Catch Up If You Can. Dropping in their third is I'm a Sissy 2. Up on the outside fourth comes Dancing Excitedly. Racing at the rail fifth is Yankee Moonlight. In their sixth is Squaw, and the last horse is T Swifty Babe. As they head down the backside, a race over toward that quarter-mile mark, Pierce Henry has Lover's Waltz on top by 2 lengths. Racing in their second, that's Catch Up If You Can, driven by Emmanuel Miller. Third is I'm a Sissy 2, driven by Braden Rhodes. Moving up on the outside fourth is Dancing Excitedly, driven by Drew Neal. Fifth is Yankee Moonlight, driven by Ed Conrad. On the outside sixth is T Swifty Bay, driven by Ryan Stahl. And the last horse is Squaw, driven by Curtis Harper.
33.
First quarter paced in 33 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stands for the first time. That's still Lover's Waltz with the lead. Right there, close second is Catch Up If You Can. Racing up on the outside third is Dancing Excitedly, followed by T Swifty Babe on the clear extreme outside. Coming down to the half with the lead, that is Lover's Waltz. Rail racing second is Catch Up If You Can. Now moving up on the outside third, T Swifty Babe. At the rail fourth is I'm a Sissy 2, and moving up fifth is Squaw.
6 and 3.
First half paced in 106 and 3/5. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over that 3/4 mile mark. The one to catch is Lover's Waltz. The closest horse second is T Swifty Babe. Racing up on the outside third now comes Squaw. Jumping back fourth at the rail is Catch Up If You Can. Catch Up If You Can is now off stride, and taking over fourth is I'm a Sissy 2. Going toward that 3/4 mile mark. That's Lover's Waltz by about 3.5 lengths. Racing second is T Swifty Babe. Third now is Squaw, followed by I'm a Sissy 2 fourth.
36.
3/4 is paced in 136. As they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's Lover's Waltz by about 6 lengths. T Swifty Babe racing second. On the outside third, Squaw, and at the rail fourth is I'm a Sissy 2. Then comes Yankee Moonlight fifth. As they race toward home, that's Lover's Waltz with the lead. There's going to be a race for place position between Squaw, T Swifty Babe, and I'm a Sissy 2. But past the stands, it's going to be Lover's Waltz, and here the outcome. Up for place is I'm a Sissy 2, and up for show is Squaw.
2:11.
A mile in 2:11.
Mile and 2:11. Gate to wire win, Susan, for the 2 Lover's Waltz. She showed her class there, $75,000 purchase. That showed
Absolutely.
today.
Absolutely, just was no doubt, especially finished strong. Nobody around her at all.
Last half and 4 and a piece are on over this slop. I'd have to say it's rated sloppy. It's got to be very, very tiring.
Yeah.
The sun has went away. We do have a breeze. I don't know if it's a good breeze, if it's blowing something in. The radar shows there is rain heading this way yet this afternoon, but it doesn't look like any big cells there. But as we mentioned, how much more rain can this track take?
Right.
It definitely can't take a downpour.
The interesting part is that the horses are not coming back dirty at all. So, usually when the track's off like this, you see them. But you do see everybody going quite wide, too. Wide in the turns, wide even down the stretch. So guys are taking it really carefully.
As you had mentioned, the 2 Lover's Waltz, a $75,000 purchase. Her dam has produced some great ones, you say?
Second dam.
Second dam.
So the sister to Sweetheart Dance, she's produced 3 that have earned right around little over half million, little under $500,000. So that's a pretty impressive broodmare.
Where the winners go, coming in from Apple Creek, Ohio, comes number 2, Lover's Waltz, owned by Ivy Holdings, trained by Robbie Brooks, and driven to Vector here this afternoon by Pierce Henry. The blanket for this race is courtesy of Nicholas Fisher. Again, there are several divisions in this race, and we'll have to wait till after the last division to determine the actual blanket winner. Let's have a big hand here for the Brooks family, Pierce Henry and Lover's Waltz, and to Nicholas Fisher, the donor of the blanket. Race 2 from the top. Number 1, Catch Up If You Can, was 7th. Number 2, Lover's Waltz was the winner. Number 3, Yankee Moonlight was 5th. Number 4, I'm a Sissy 2 was 2nd. Number 5, T Swifty Babe was 4th. Number 6, Squaw was 3rd. And number 7, Dancing Excitedly was 6th. Time of the first quarter was 33 seconds. The half was in 106 and 3/5. The 3/4 in 136 with a mile in 2:11. From the top it should read 7:15.243. 6 on the bottom. A mile in 2:11. Representative of Marion.
Well, the third race is up next. It's the second division of the 2-year-old filly trot. $2,831, be a field of 6 before on gate with 2 trailers, and we'll be back to take a look at the third right after this.
The roots of harness racing are born at the county fair. For over 150 years, people have gathered to watch horses battle it out for fame and glory. Catch the thrills this summer at an Ohio Fair Racing Conference County Fair. The OFRC races at 22 fairs in 20 Ohio counties. Trotters and pacers put it all on the line to be called the best in the Buckeye State. The Ohio Fair Racing Conference, where the path to greatness begins.
Volstead, Coach K. Hanover, Slay, Ohio's top trotters stand at Dublin Valley Farms. Volstead's offspring include Sugar Instead, the 2023 Ohio 2-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year, and 2024 Ohio Sire Stakes winner Jurassic Hattie. Coach K. Hanover, the son of world record holder Walneri, and Slay, the son of Chapter 7, standing his first season at Dublin Valley Farms.
Well, we're back here at the Marion County Fair. We got 2 of them down, Susan. We're on to race 3, the 2-year-old filly trotters, a field of 6, beginning with 1 Peachalisis, I can't get that out. Tyler Bates dries and trains 2-year-old bay filly by Watt the Hill. This is an $11,000 Buckeye Classic purchase. She making her second start. She started at Paulding from post 4. Finished 5th, beaten 29.5 lengths. Trotting her mile in 2:16. That's the one with Tyler Bates.
Dreams, Pierce Henry drives for trainer Bruce Walls. Bruce and Gina Bowman are the owners. This is a creatine filly out of an Uncle Peter mare, Stuff's Dream. A Ohio selected purchase for $10,000. This horse has had 2 starts. Paulding mile in 2:14 and 2 that day. And then at Ottawa, finished second, only back by a neck, so cut the mile and just got beat at the wire in mile in 2:08 flat.
Ronnie Gillespie drives a 3, Knoxville Lindy. He also trains for Madison Global of Dundee, Ohio. Knoxville Lindy, a $19,000 Lexington Select purchase. She's a 2-year-old bay filly by Ready for Money out of the Love You mare, Nashville Lindy. Now, this is her 3rd start. She has a win. That win was at Paulding, 2:10 and 3. Her last start out at Ottawa. Made several breaks throughout the mile, but trotted in 2:13 and 2, finishing 4th.
Approval needed. Ryan Stahl drives. Ryan also is the trainer and co-owns along with Stephen Reese and Matt Paul Lambert. This is an Uncle Peter filly out of a DeJarmbro mare, sealed with approval. A $10,000 purchase at the Buckeye Classic sale. Had a qualifier at Delaware where she trotted in 2:4 and 4, her first time on behind the gate. So that was a really nice mile there. And then went to Ottawa, finished second, back by only 3.5, trotted in 2:7 and 1.
Number 5 is a 2-year-old bay filly by Triumph of Caviar from the Chris Beaver stable. Clifton Bell will drive. The 5, Pio Quito, is owned by Beaver, Burnett, and Z Handler of Ohio. She is 1 for 1 in her career. Started at Paulding, was a winner in 13 and 3. Then her next start was the 18th of June in a qualifier at Delaware, where she trotted in 2:08 and 4. And then she went the following week, last Tuesday at Delaware, and made several breaks. So she looking for her second win on the season, the 5, Poquito.
And Viva Magenta with Drew Neal up for trainer Rosie Weaver. And Heartland Acres, the owner. This is a long Tom filly out of an Amelia Angus mare, She's Not Red. Purchased at the Ohio Selected Sale for $17,000. Won her race at Paulding in 2:10 and 1. Then went to Scioto in a qualifier and made a few breaks. And then back to Northfield in a 2-year-old qualifier where she won again in 2:5 and 1. So has that nice record of 2:5 and 1 already.
We're back here tomorrow with 20 races. Post time right now scheduled for 11. Could be earlier if they don't get these all in today.
Yeah, there's a chance that they could race more.
Things really get heated up, I believe, next week. This is the only fair this week, if I'm correct. But next week, it gets to be a busy week where Wilmington
Yeah.
races along with Bell Fountain. That's when we start to double up.
County Farm Bureau. Number 1 is Peachalicious, owned by Suzanne Bates of Gibsonburg, Ohio, trained and driven by Ty Bates. Number 2 is Creating Dreams, owned by Bruce Walls of Greenville, Ohio, Gina Bullman of Westerville, Ohio, trained by Bruce Walls, the driver Pierce Henry. Number 3 is Knoxville Lindy, owned by Madison Global of Dundee, Ohio, trained and driven by Ronnie Gillespie. Number 4 is No Approval Needed, owned by Ryan Stahl, Stephen Reese, and Matt Lambert, all of Republic, Ohio, trained and driven by Ryan Stahl. Number 5 is Paquito, owned by Chris Beaver of Radnor, Ohio, James Burnett of Wilmington, Ohio, Steve Z. Handler of Worthington, Ohio, trained by Chris Beaver, the driver Clifton Bell. And number 6 is Viva Magenta, owned by Heartland Acres of Wahonding, Ohio, trained by Rosie Weaver, the driver Drew Neal. Horses will take one score.
As you mentioned, Doug, it starts getting pretty busy. Just a week from today, we race at Bellefontaine, Cortland, and Wilmington. No, I'm sorry. Wilmington and Bellefontaine on Monday, and then on Tuesday we have Wilmington, Bellefontaine, and Cortland. So we got a few busy days.
Back in the day, in the 50s, they had a race meet here. It's one of the. I've been told, now this is not official. This was the first place in Ohio they ever had in harness racing any pari mutual wagering. Now,
oh gosh,
how true that is, that's nothing that I've read in official, but I've been told that several times. And I think years ago, Troy, Ohio, had a race meet back in the 50s. Jessica McCowan, Texas, her grandfather, longtime horseman Robert H. Brown, lived on Harrison Street here in Marion. That would be the father of trainer Brian Brown and R.H. Brown. I can still picture him when he would drive. He had a lot of horses called the Candlelight Stable. But mainly I think he trained at Upper Sandusky. Maybe he did train some here at one time, but I can remember back in the 70s and 80s he would train horses for the Candlelight Stable.
there is just a tremendous amount of history. Doug Guthrie gave me a newspaper article.
Yes,
I'm going to have to
he
find
earlier.
that. I think that he said that this is the 175th
Year of the
Marion
fair.
Fair. Yeah.
I know Allen County, I believe it's going to be their 175th year. Probably see a lot of fairs in that range.
Yeah, started back in 1851. So
And that's how horse racing got started.
That's right.
Where the farmers would bring their horses in and they would race one another.
I have a really nice when the local newspaper puts out this whole. I mean, it's quite a few pages. I'm not sure how many pages it are, but it's got all the activities that are going on at the fair. Under the Big Top, Fair Fun, it's called.
There they come. The year off and trotting the first horse away is Knoxville Lindy. Rubbing in there second is Creating Dreams. Up on the outside third is Viva Magenta. Trotting up fourth is No Approval Needed. At the rail fifth is Peachalicious. And the last horse is Paquito. As they head down the backside, a race over toward that quarter-mile mark. With the lead is Knoxville Lindy, driven by Ronnie Gillespie. Now taking over on the outside, though, that is Viva Magenta, driven by Drew Neal. Dropping back second is Knoxville Lindy. In their third is Creating Dreams, driven by Pierce Henry. On the outside, fourth is No Approval Needed, driven by Ryan Stahl. At the rail, fifth is Peach Alicia, driven by Ty Bates. The last horse, Paquito, driven by Clifton Bell.
33.
First quarter trotted in 33 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. Come down to the half-mile mark, rather. With the lead, that's Viva Magenta. Racing in there, close second is Knoxville Lindy. Racing third, that's Creating Dreams. In there, fourth is No Approval Needed. Up on the outside, fifth now comes Paquito, and the last horse is Peach Alicious. Racing to the half-mile mark, that is Viva Magenta with the lead. Racing second is Knoxville Lindy. Up on the outside, third is Paquito. At the rail, fourth is Creating Dreams.
8 and 1.
First half trotted in 1:08 and 1/5. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over the 3/4 mile mark. They've got to catch Viva Magenta. The closest horse second on the outside is Knoxville Lindy. At the rail, third is Creating Dreams. At the rail, fourth is No Approval Needed. Paquito trots fifth. The last horse, Peach Alicious. Front five pretty well bunched as they race toward that 3/4 mile mark. That's still Viva Magenta with the lead. On the outside, second, Creating Dreams. Out 3 wide comes No Approval Needed. Past that 3/4 mile mark. That's still Viva Magenta with the lead. 3 quarters in 1:41 and 1/5. As they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's Viva Magenta with the lead, but No Approval Needed charging up on the outside. As they race for home, that's Viva Magenta on the inside. On the outside is No Approval Needed. Viva Magenta, No Approval Needed. Viva Magenta, No Approval Needed. Viva Magenta, No Approval Needed. It's Viva Magenta. No Approval Needed. Up for place, up for show is Creating Dreams.
Hold on. He's got it. Resettle.
And 2:13 and 2/5.
There you have it, 2:13 and 2 for your winner. The 6th, Viva Magenta. Drew Neal gets his second on the card. Rosie Weaver gets her second training victory of the day. Rosie has 10 in today. Viva Magenta, 2-year-old bay filly by Long Tom out of the Mal Magnus mare. She's not red. 2 for 2 on by Heartland Acres. Rosie Weaver trains, Drew Neal drives. She coming off a win at Paulding in 2:10 and 1. Had 2 qualifiers. Qualified on the 16th at Northfield, where she trotted in 2:05 and won the final quarter in 30 and 3/5. Final half in 1:02 for Viva Magenta. But she wins today here at the Marion County Fair, 2:13 and 2. Unofficially second was a 4, No Approval Needed, Ryan Stahl, who came 3 wide at the 3/4 and just got beat by half a length.
Landing Ohio comes number 6, Viva Magenta, owned by the Heartland Acres, trained by Rosie Weaver, and driven to victory this afternoon by Drew Neal. Now a picture will be taken with the Marion County Farm Bureau blanket. Again, we'll have to wait until after the 6th division to determine the actual blanket winner, but at this point, this horse is in line to get it. This was a faster time than the 1st division. Joe Yoder, Drew Neal, and Viva Magenta, and the Marion County Farm Bureau, the donors of the blanket.
Winner Viva Magenta returns 1060, 580. Nice exacta, Susan, 6-4 combination, 3860, and the try was covered 642 for 2780.
Pink.
From the top, number 1, Peach Alicious was 6th. Number 2, Creating Dreams was 3rd. Number 3, Knoxville Lindy was 4th. Number 4, No Approval Needed was 2nd. Number 5, Paquito was 5th. Number 6, Viva Magenta was the winner. Time of the first quarter was 33 seconds. The half was in 108 and 1/5. The 3/4 in 141 and 1/5, with a mile in 213 and 2/5. From the top, it should read 6:34.251, a mile in 213 and 2/5.
Well, it's on to the fourth 3-year-old filly trot. This will be the first division. Total purse $15,780. This field of 6 will go for $3,136. Will go as programmed. No changes. Susan, they can pick up their programs online at harnessracingohio.com. Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And that's 2 hours before post time?
Just about 1 hour before
1 hour
we
before
try.
post time. So if you do want to print a program off and follow along with us, it's harnessracingohio.com. So we're on to the fourth. As we mentioned, we'll be back to take a look at these 3-year-old filly trotters right after this.
Midland Acres is proud to stand the prominent stallions, TCI, Long Tom, Ready for Money, Monty Mickey, Summa Cum Laude, and Bit of a Legend. With such great pedigree and speed in the stallion barn, Midland Acres will provide a diverse group of top yearlings in the sale ring for 2025. Visit us this fall at our consignments at the Blooded Horse Sale on August 26th, the Ohio Select Jug Sale on September 12th, and the Lexington Select Sale on September 29th through October 3rd. Let Midland Acres experience in the industry lead you to the winner's circle.
The future is bright in Ohio. Ohio Sire Stakes, Buckeye Stallion Series, 66 county and independent fairs. Whether it's the Ohio Sire Stakes, the Buckeye Stallion Series, or the county fairs, Ohio has a place for your racehorse. This year, Ohio breds are racing for nearly $23 million in stakes purses. Be part of the winning. Breed, buy, race, win in Ohio.
Welcome back to Marion, where the sun is shining and the wind is blowing. It's really very, very, very pleasant here now after the rainstorms that we had earlier today. About 10:15, it really poured, so that's why we were delayed a little bit, trying to get the track into some shape. And it's track's not bad. We're still, Mike Webkenberg is still being very cautious, and he's going, so far the first 3 races he has gone without the wings open. So the horses just have to know.
And they're getting some good starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it's just a different way of doing things. We are scoring 4, and then so the rest will have to be your trailers.
So this fourth race, a 3-year-old filly trotters, field of 6 will be on the track shortly. Beginning with the 1, Corfu Flexing, Pierce Henry for Roy Justice. 3-year-old bay filly by Flex the Muscle out of the SJ's Caviar mare, Corfu Hanover. This her first start of the season. Started 11 times last year with a 2nd and a 3rd. Earned $4,700 last year. She a $4,000 Buckeye Classic purchase 2 years ago. Her last start out was at Northfield in a non-winners of 1, where she trotted in 2:01 and 3. That's the 1, Corfu Flexing.
LT Madonna and Clifton Bell from the 2-hole for trainer Curtis Massey. Owners are Jeannie Massey, Patricia Jury, and Jim Mays. This is a Long Tom filly out of a credit winner mare, Holy Mary. This horse had 11 starts last year, 1 second, and has had 2 starts this year so far. Did start, had a qualifier up at Northfield, and then had a start at Northfield in a non-winners of 1. And started at Paulding, finished back at Paulding, but did trot in 2:10 and 2.
3, Tom Power, Duke Sug drives and trains a 3-year-old bay filly by Long Tom out of the Power Play mare, Power Wave. Ivan and Duke Sug and Stephen Mass of Deschler, Ohio own. This a $20,000 Ohio Select purchase 2 years ago. 8 starts on the season, has win and 2 seconds. 4 career wins, lifetime $23,000. Lifetime mark is a 3-year-old earlier this year, 2 minutes and a 5th at Northfield Park. That's the 3, Tom Power.
Just a Classic. Ed Greeno Jr. drives and trains. E.G. Trot and Thomas Adams are the owners. This is an Enterprise filly, a Muscle Hill mare, Pego My Heart. 15 starts last year, 4 wins. Fastest of those was 2, 3, and 2. Has had 3 starts this year, raced at Scioto, Northfield, and Ottawa. Fastest of those was at Scioto Downs, where she trotted in 2-1 flat.
Genuine motor car. Number 1 is Corfu Flexing, owned by Hoofinit Racing LLC of Delaware and Roy Justice of Marysville, trained by Roy Justice, the driver Pierce Henry. Number 2 is LT Modana, owned by Gene Massey of Sycamore, Ohio, and Patricia Jury and Jim Mays of Bucyrus, trained by Kurt Massey, the driver Clifton Bell. Number 3 is Tom Power, owned by Ivan and Duke Sugg and Stephen Moss, all of Deschler, Ohio, trained and driven by Duke Sugg. Number 4, Just a Classic has been drawn. Number 5 is Wild Child Annie, owned by Heartland Acres of Walhonding, Ohio, and Rosie Weaver of Beach City, Ohio, trained by Rosie Weaver, the driver Drew Neal. And number 6 is Trixie's Girl, owned, trained, and driven by Mike High of Mount Gilead.
Wild Child Annie is the bettor's choice right now at 1-9 on the board. Drew Neal already has 2 wins, and Rosie Weaver 2 training wins of the day. As we mentioned, Rosie 2 for 2 with her 10 starters. Wild Child Annie is a 3-year-old bay filly by Long Tom out of the Lucky Chucky mare. Teacher Pat looking for her 3rd win of the season, 10th career. Right at 17,000 this year, 58-2 her last time out. Lifetime mark in a non-winners of 1 at Northfield. That's the 5, Wild Child Annie.
And my apologies for telling you all about Just a Classic, because Just a Classic was scratched, and I didn't even realize that. So the 5, Trixie's Girl, making her first lifetime start for owner, trainer, driver Mike High. This is an And Away We Go out of a Trixton mare, Lucky Charms and Tricks. And this horse was purchased at the Buckeye Classic sale for $3,500.
Right now, the weather looks great. I'm going to look at my radar and see what we got here. Oh, boy. There is some more coming our way, maybe half hour.
Maybe it'll blow around or something.
There's no red cell there, but it looks like it's going to get some rain.
Yeah. With the wind and the rain, the track is looking a whole lot better than it was an hour ago, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely looks much better in front of us, yes.
They are not going real fast, but that's okay. You don't really have to go. So this 3-year-old filly trot, there's 5 divisions of this today also. So it's quite a few, as we talked about before, lots of divisions of these races today. And that'll start changing next week when we start to double up on fares. Some horses will go, some horses will be done, some horses will go to the Pure Mutual track. We've got, if we look in these, a lot of times we look at the 3-year-olds, and they're kind of bouncing a little bit between the Buckeye Stallion series and that. We've got,
I think Wild Child Annie back on the 19th racing the Buckeye Stallion series at Scioto Downs, finished second. Trotted in 56-2, the mile in 55, beaten 7 lengths, but now dropped down to a start at the fair. Yeah. Talking about Scioto Downs, we're going to have the draw tomorrow night for the next generation. Mm-hmm. That'll be on the OHHA page live, we think.
We're not sure yet how that's going to work.
And we don't know what races. For sure they're going to start the draw after.
Right. We'll get that information for you probably. I imagine after the 23 qualifiers are done today at Scioto, then they'll think about tomorrow.
And the next generation it'll be Saturday night at the races on the OHHA broadcast.
Yes, that will be definitely.
And that will be kicking off with post-time first race.
I saw Brian Brown was selling a 2-year-old Colt Pacer spot in that.
Yeah.
So that was Judy Rugner I was just speaking with, who had the 2-year-old Colt that just won non-winners, won 52-2 last quarter, 26-1. So I asked her, "Did you buy that spot?" And she said she sold the horse. So one start, and there was no number disclosed, but I'm sure she did all right. It sounded like Burke and his crew
bought it.
Yep. So.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about that next generation is you can buy one right before you're due to enter, and that can be your spot.
Might get a good chunk back, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you win, you're going to get $75,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I saw that I just saw the very finish of that race the other night at Scioto, and I said, "Oh my gosh."
Non-winners of 1.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty stiff for non-winners of 1.
Absolutely.
No matter where you're at.
Yes. They are going fast. What Roger Houston announced there the other night, and the median time, I think he said, was 151 or something. It was just.
Well, the week before, I think they had 6 under 150, unheard of.
Yeah.
Used to be, if you went under 2 minutes, it was unheard of.
Oh, yeah. I can still remember our first horse that ever went in 2 minutes. Driver came back and said, "Here, look at my stopwatch." Another thing that you won't see anymore.
Stopwatch. Well, I see one down here, gentlemen.
Oh,
still, they
got
like
a
to set
stopwatch?
the stands and time them. Yep.
Okay, so we've got 2 trailers in this race because we are just scoring 4 if you're just joining us. And you will also notice that the gate is still going without his wings open, as far as I can tell. So we've got 4 on the gate and 2 trailers. Let's turn it over to Bill Peters for the call of this, the 4th, from Marion.
Here they come. Here off and trotting. First horse away is LT Modana. Moving up second, that is Corfu Flexing. Racing in their third is Wild Child Annie. Trotting fourth is Trixie's Girl, and the last horse is Tom Power. As they head down the backside, horses are strung out just a wee bit. With the lead, that is LT Modana. Moving up on the outside second, now comes Wild Child Annie. Dropping back third is Corfu Flexing. Moving up fourth is Tom Power, and the last horse is Trixie's Girl. Past that quarter-mile mark, that's LT Modana by a length and a half over Wild Child Annie.
32.
First quarter was trotted in 32 seconds. As they race around that upper turn to come down past the stands for the first time, LT Modana now by 1 length. Racing second is Wild Child Annie. In their third is Corfu Flexing. Racing fourth is Trixie's Girl, and the last horse is Tom Power. No change as they come down to a half-mile mark. That's Clifton Bell and LT Modana bringing the horses down to the half. A length and a half back second, that's Wild Child Annie. Racing third is Corfu Flexing, then comes Trixie's Girl and Tom Power.
6 and 4.
First half trotted in 106 and 4/5 as they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over that 3/4 mile mark. They've got to catch LT Modana. The closest horse second is Wild Child Annie. She's now out and on the move to pour on the pressure on LT Modana. Moving up third is Trixie's Girl. Moving up fourth now, that's Tom Power, and dropping back fifth is Corfu Flexing. Going to the 3/4 mile mark, that's Wild Child Annie on the outside of the lead. LT Modana at the rail second. Moving up third is Trixie's Girl. 3/4 trotted in 138 as they race around that upper turn to head for pay dirt. That's Wild Child Annie now opening up about 4.5 lengths. LT Modana is racing second. Trixie's Girl is in there third with Tom Power fourth. As they race toward home, that's Wild Child Annie and LT Modana. Wild Child Annie, LT Modana, and Trixie's Girl. But past the stands, it's going to be Wild Child Annie, and here the outcome. LT Modana holds on for place. Up for show is Trixie's Girl.
Wild Child
A
Annie
mile
with
in
her third win of
2:10
the year.
and 2/5.
2:10 and 2/5 for Wild Child Annie. Third win of the year.
Boy, Rosie's got these things dialed in today,
Yes,
doesn't
she
she?
Yeah,
does.
she
She's
does.
3 for 3, batting 1,000. Drew Neal picks up his third win. Wild Child Annie, a 3-year-old bay filly by Long Tom, owned by Heartland Acres and Rosie Weaver, out of the Lucky Chucky mare. Teacher Pet Pat, 51,000 lifetime. Coming off was, we mentioned Susan before the start of the race. Wild Child Annie last week was a winner in 58 and 2 at Northfield Park. The start before that finished second, trotted a 56 and 2 at Scioto Downs in Buckeye Stallion Series action.
Yeah, so that'll put her as a contender right now in the Buckeye Stallion Series points also, as well as doing really well here at the fair. I was impressed with Trixie's Girl. Made a break here at the
Yes.
start, but came
Showed
back.
a lot of trot.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So it's a good thing that they've got the golf cart to get Rosie and her crew
Yeah.
back and forth here.
She's going to want that blanket. I hope she went fast enough there. That matches
What's
her, matches her
the
colors.
dog's name?
Bolt.
Bolt's must not be going to the winner's circle today.
Comes number 5, Wild Child Annie, owned by Heartland Acres and Rosie Weaver, trained by Rosie Weaver, and driven to victory here this afternoon by Drew Neal. The blanket for this race is courtesy of Genuine Motor Car. Again, there are several divisions of this race, so we'll have to wait till after the last division to determine the actual blanket winner. Let's have a big hand here for Rosie Weaver, Drew Neal, and Wild Child Annie, and the Genuine Motor Car, the donors of the blanket.
Rosie's horses do not leave the winner's circle without a pat from her.
Never misses a picture either. You know,
Nope.
like no matter how busy they are back there, and she
Yeah.
always comes up.
And believe me, they're busy.
Oh,
With
gosh.
10 horses, 10 head racing, they are busy. They still have 7 to go.
Number 2, LT Modano was second. Number 3, Tom Power was fourth. Number 4, Just a Classic had been drawn. Number 5, Wild Child Annie was the winner. And number 6, Trixie's Girl was third. Time of the first quarter was 32 seconds. The half was in 1:06 and 4/5. The 3/4 in 1:38 with a mile in 2:10 and 2/5. From the top it should read 5:24, scratch 1:3, a mile in 2:10 and 2/5. Seashell, the driver is Brayton Rhodes. Brayton Rhodes driving number 4, Midwind Seashell. Number 6, Western Sky, the driver is Emmanuel Miller. Emmanuel Miller driving number 6, Western Sky. Need a representative.
Okay, so those are the changes that we have. Just a couple changes in race number 5 coming up next. Starting just to have a little bit of a drizzle or mist here right now, so hopefully that'll blow over. The wind is blowing pretty hard, so hopefully it'll just blow it right through. Doug said before on his, he saw some rain in his.
There's no red cells there, but it looks like it could last. But, you know, it started. Now I think it's quit already.
Yeah.
It was just a heavy, not a downpour by any means, but just a heavy light rain coming down. But it looks like it's quit. Well, I can hear it now.
We can hear it now, yeah.
I can hear it
Picked right
now.
back
Yeah,
up.
It's right
Yeah.
back up. So the 5th race coming up is a 3-year-old filly pace. A field of 6, a couple changes to pass along. Brayton Rhodes will drive the 4, Midwind Seashell. Brayton Rhodes the 4, Midwind Seashell. 6, Western Sky, Emmanuel Miller. Manny Miller the 6, Western Sky. We'll be back to take a look at this 5th race right after we hear from these fine sponsors.
Bell Fountain, the county seat of Logan County, 48 miles northwest of Columbus, is home to Campbell Hill, which at 1,549 feet above sea level is the highest point in Ohio. The name means beautiful spring in French, as the original travelers found lots of springs in the area. With over 56 newly renovated buildings downtown, in 2023, the city of over 14,000 was named one of the best hometowns in Ohio. There are numerous golf courses and camping sites, and it's a perfect starting point for your adventures. Visit Ohio Cabins in nearby Libertyville as you descend 40 feet underground and see stones that glow in the dark. Or take a day at the 5,100-acre Indian Lake. Built in the 1850s and the second largest man-made reservoir in Ohio, is a great time to be had by boating and fishing. In downtown Bell Fountain, it's a short walk, and I do mean a short walk, on McKinley Street, which, at a total of 20 feet, 6.1 meters for you metric chaps, is the shortest street in America. Then stop by Court Avenue, the oldest concrete street in the United States, set in 1891. A quick stroll brings you to a fully restored Holland Theater, which has been host to performances since the 1930s. This all comes together at the Logan County Fair, which runs from July 7th to July 12th, and be sure to catch the thrills and excitement of the Ohio Fair Racing Conference stake races on Monday, July 7th and Tuesday, July 8th. Host time at 6 p.m. It's all Bella Bella and Bell Fountain.
That was one of our tourism spots by Tom Pye, the harness guy. We're going to continue those all summer. I think we've picked out about 10 different counties that we're going to do that in. So if you're going to, like coming to Bell Fountain, you might want to come a day early or stay a little bit longer and see what they have to show at this county.
First division of the 3-year-old filly pace. Going for a purse of $3,000. They're going for a purse of $3,762 and a blanket courtesy of Lola Darlene Lewis. Number 1 is Cinderella, owned by Gary Gillen of Malin, Ohio, trained by Chad Williamson. The driver is Pierce Henry. Number 2 is Ma Honey, owned by Sean McGee of Swanton, Ohio, and Suzanne Bates of Gibsonburg, Ohio, trained by Ty Bates. The driver, Drew Neal. Number 3 is Really? Are you kidding me? Owned, trained by Dan Vinier of Pemberville, Ohio. Number 4 is Midwind Seashell, owned by Kimber Clegg of Matamoros, Pennsylvania, trained by Betty Clegg, the driver, Brayton Rhodes. Number 5 is She's a Smoke Show, owned by Kyle Ladd and Ryan Schaefer of Findlay, Ohio, trained by Kyle Ladd. And number 6 is Western Sky, owned by Joyce Wagner, Sunbury, Ohio, trained by Terry Henry, the driver, Emmanuel Miller. Horses will take one score and go to the gate. Mutual.
Oh, no.
Susan, looking out there, you know the track it's not sloppy. Nobody has mud aprons on.
Right.
Or I mean
Fenders?
Fenders on.
Yeah.
It's just tacky.
Yeah.
Probably tacky and tiring.
Yeah, it really hasn't been too bad unless we can't see on the backstretch, of course. But like I said, I've said a couple times, horses are not coming back full of mud, so that usually is a good sign. So let's take a quick look at the horses in this race. Cinderella, Pierce Henry drives for Chad Williamson. Gary Gillian, the owner, a Western Terror filly out of a Cambess mare. One start this year, that was at Paulding, where she finished second and paced her mile in 2, 4, and 1. 6 starts last year, a winner at Upper Sandusky in 2, 1, and 1.
Number 2, Ma Honey, Drew Neal for Tyler Bates. 3-year-old bay filly by Well Said. Looking for her 3rd of the season in 8 starts. 5,300 on the year so far. Winner in 202 and 1. 2 back at Paulding. Last start finished second, beaten 2.5. The mile in 202 at Ottawa. That's the 2, Ma Honey, and driver Drew Neal.
Dan Vanier trains, drives, owns, and bred. Really? Are you kidding me? A Racing Hill had 4 starts this year so far. Had 13 starts as a 2-year-old, 5 wins, a record of 157 and 2 as a 2-year-old.
4, Midwood and Seashell. Brayden Rhodes drives for Betty Clegg. 3 starts this year yet to hit the board. Last year was winner twice, 201 and 4 at Painesville.
She's a Smoke Show with Kyle Ladd up. Kyle trains and owns along with Ryan Schaefer. A lather up filly making just her 2nd lifetime start.
Rounding out the field, the 6, Western Sky from the 2nd tier. 3-year-old bay filly by Big Bab Ray. Emmanuel Miller drives. First career start for Western Sky, coming off a qualifier at Delaware, where she paced in 202 and 2.
I'm glad they gave him a turn. The tractor's still out here dragging.
I thought that's why I was rushing through, because I thought they were going to the gate. But yeah, the tractor is still out here.
Even this little bit of rain we're getting now, it's a hard rain.
Yeah.
It does not look good. The track does not look good in front of us.
Yeah,
This is not good, I don't believe.
Depending how widespread it is, if it's going to just rush through.
If Mike can get out of there with the gate, now that's the big thing.
Safety first. That's 100%. We want everybody, the horsemen and horses, to be safe.
Congratulations to Dan and Cheryl Vanier as well. They've got the 3-horse in here. Rose Run Zane just set the track record at Scioto, right? Saturday night.
That's right.
48 and 1.
Yeah.
One of Dan's horses.
Yeah.
Jug Starter had a little bit of bad luck in the elimination, but he's a very nice racehorse.
Looks like they are headed to the gate. A couple of green horses in here. The two outside horses, the 5 and the 6, have only just had one start and no starts. Western Skies. So kind of a tough start from the second tier in your first lifetime start. Looks like the tractor is off the track now. Got a few things in the infield here, so it's a little hard to see that going into that last turn.
Yeah, you really can't see the gate.
No. Looks like they have some mud stuff here in the infield, so this will probably be good for the mud races that they have here. Horses are headed to the gate. So from the rail out, we've got Cinderbella, Ma Honey, Really Are You Kidding Me, Midwind Seashell, and from the second tier, because we are only scoring 4, so She's a Smoke Show and Western Sky. Let's turn it over to Bill Peters for the call of the 5th from Marion.
Here they come. Here, off and pacing the horse away is Ma Honey. Moving up on the outside second, that's Midwind Seashell. Between horses third, that's Really? Are you kidding me? Racing in there fourth is Cinderbella. Fifth is She's a Smoke Show. And the last horse off stride is Western Sky. As they head down the backside to race over to that quarter-mile mark, Drew Neal has Ma Honey on top by 2 lengths. Racing second is Really? Are you kidding me? Driven by Dan Vinier. And their third is Midwind Seashell, driven by Braden Rhodes. Racing fourth is Cinderbella, driven by Pierce Henry. Fifth is She's a Smoke Show, driven by Kyle Ladd. The last horse off stride is Western Sky, driven by Emmanuel Miller.
30 and 1.
First quarter was paced in 30 and 1/5 seconds. As they race down toward the half-mile mark, that is still Ma Honey with the lead. In their second is Really? Are you kidding me? Racing up on the outside third. Now, as they come down to the half, that is Midwind Seashell. Midwind Seashell now takes over. Coming back second is Ma Honey. Really? Are you kidding me? Racing third was Cinderella. Fourth. Racing fifth is She's a Smoke Show.
101 and 3.
First half paced in 101 and 3/5. As they round the turn now to head down the backside to race over to that 3/4 mile mark. Ma Honey has regained the lead along the rail. On the outside second is Midwind Seashell. At the rail third is Really? Are you kidding me? Racing fourth is Cinderbella. Fifth is She's a Smoke Show. The last horse, Western Sky. Going to the 3/4 mile mark. Now taking over on the outside is Really? Are you kidding me? Ma Honey at the rail second. Racing third, Midwind Seashell. And moving up on the outside fourth is Cinderbella.
132.
3/4 paced in 132. And Ma Honey regains the lead along the rail. Really? Are you kidding me? Charges back up on the outside to regain the lead. And now moving up is Cinderbella. As they race toward home. That's Really? Are you kidding me with the lead? Cinderbella closing fast on the outside. Really? Are you kidding me? And Cinderbella. It's going to be Really? Are you kidding me? And Cinderbella. Really? Are you kidding me? And here the outcome. Cinderbella up for place. Midwind Seashell for show.
206 and 3.
A mile in 206 and 3/5.
Well, Susan, that set up for the winner. Really, are you kidding me? They get to the half in 101 and 3, and a tiring track. So it's set up for Really, Are You Kidding Me? The 3-year-old brown filly by Racing Hill and Dan Veneer was probably 5 to 6 lengths off of the field at the half and 5/8, and it was tiring fractions up front, and she just pulled it to 3/4 and was an easy winner in 206 and 3 final half and 105. Getting her first of the year. Had 5 wins last year. Winner lifetime now. About $34,000 for Really Are You Kidding Me?
Yeah, was a very nice 2-year-old, and if you look at the last 2 lines, raced in the McCoy, finished second at Scioto Downs in that Steve McCoy race, finished second by a neck. Paced her mile in 52 and 2, And 2 starts before that had paced in 53-1, so certainly is up. Got a lot of speed.
Unofficially second, I have the 1 Cinder Bella. Third, the 4 Midwind Seashell.
From Pemberville, Ohio, comes number 3. Really? Are you kidding me? Oh, training to a victory by Dan Venier. The blanket for this race is courtesy of Lola Darlene Lewis. And again, this race is being raced in several divisions. We'll have to wait until after the last division to determine the actual blanket winner. Let's do a big hit. A big hand for Dan and Cheryl Venier. And really? Are you kidding me? And to Lola Darlene Lewis, the donor of the blanket.
Big smile and a lot of mud on Dan's face.
You got to love it. That's what I was thinking. You got to love the game to driving this. He has good horses year in and year out. Yes.
Yeah, we did a nice interview with him a few years back, and he doesn't want a lot of horses, just wants a few, but boy, he's got some nice ones.
From the top. Number 1, Cinderella was second. Number 2, My Honey was fourth. Number 3, Really? Are you kidding me? Was the winner. Number 4, Midwind Seashell was third. Number 5, She's a Smoke Show was fifth. And number 6, Western Sky was sixth. Time of the first quarter was 30 1/5. The half was in 1:01 3/5. The 3/4 in 1:32, with a mile in 2:06 3/5. From the top it should read 2:41.356, a mile in 2:06 3/5. In the upcoming race 6, number 4, Seaside Angel, the driver will be Curtis Harper. Curtis Harper driving number 4, Seaside Angel.
So this might be a good time to remind everybody that at Bucyrus in 2 weeks we're going to have another division of the Holton Youth Driving Series. So they asked me to remind everyone that they need horses and drivers. So if any young guys or young ladies have want to drive in that Holton Youth Series at Bucyrus, there's going to be a lot going on at Bucyrus. They're going to have that. They're going to have a division of the Buckeye Stallion Series. So a nice card over at Bucyrus. I was just going to look for it and see when that Holton Youth Series is.
Holton Youth Driving Series, Terry Holton, former Ohio Harness Horseman Association Director, a Hall of Famer in the sport of harness racing in Ohio. Just a great guy from the Newark, Ohio area. I know one of his best was Playboy Hanover, and I go back a long way. I was announcing, filled in or something at Bucyrus whenever Playboy Hanover was a 3-year-old, and he set the track record there. And he went on to race in the Jug. I'm thinking he might have won a division of the Jug, but I'm not for sure.
Wow.
Well, Terry Holton, just a great guy.
And in fact, that race at Bucyrus is called the Playboy Hanover Terry Holton Youth Driving Series. Yep. That'll be on Wednesday, July 16th. So that is for everybody to know. It's not looking good here, but
it is dark out right now.
Yeah. Well, it looked like it's going to be here for 15 or 20 minutes. But
wow.
There was no red cell. We're halfway through it.
Are we?
Yeah.
It's coming down pretty good.
It is.
Now.
It's coming down hard. There's a lot of water on the track now. Even though they've got nice drainage, I mean, they've got a ditch on the inside where all the water goes, but it's just coming so hard and so fast right now. I'm sure that the judges will be talking, Mike Webkenberg will be talking, and they'll make some decisions here. Frank Fraz is on his way, usually when it rains, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we know who to thank, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, one of those days where driving racehorses wouldn't be a whole lot of fun.
Right. Well, this is, as we've talked about before, this is where it comes out of, that limestone, that dirt gets in places that you wouldn't think. It comes out of your eyes for a couple of days, and it's just, it's not fun. Kay said a nice mile for the track conditions, and she was right. That mile in 6 and 3 was a nice mile. So we'll see what they're going to say. We've still got some horses out on the track. This would be the 6th coming up if we go with it. Oh. They're going to, Bill Peters has just announced to take the horses back to the barn. So they're not going to go right now. They're probably going to see if they can wait it out and go a little bit later. But for right now, they're going to go back to the barn. So let's take a commercial break and then we'll be back.
Yep.
In Ohio, Hickory Lane Farm has the stallions you are looking for, like What the Hill, Uncle Peter, and In Range, as well as Branded by Lindy, Jug Winner Luz Pearlman, Racing Hill, and Guardian Angel Oz. Hickory Lane will offer a host of Ohio sired yearlings this fall, including 6 by In Range, 5 by Uncle Peter, 4 by Guardian Angel Oz, and 1 by What the Hill. Find out more at hickorylanefarm.com.
Make summer memories this year at the Ohio County Fairs. The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association will be live streaming every race this year, and we want you to be there. Be a part of the excitement with the 2025 Ohio County Fair Racing Passport. Stop by the OHHA broadcast location in the grandstand to pick up your passport and stamp. Get stamps at every fair you attend. Prizes will be awarded to those that attend the most racing programs. Get your passport at the first fair you attend or call the OHHA office at 614-221-3650. Harness Racing, the fastest ride at the fair.
To Marion, where it is raining right now pretty heavily, so horses have gone back to the barn. We're gonna see what happens in the next few minutes. We were talking about the Playboy Hanover Terry Holton Youth Driving Series before we got rained on, and it said, Donna says, I have Playboy Hanover drinking glasses from Cecil Hess, who owned them. That's really cool.
Yes.
Very cool. It's nice to have those kind of mementos.
He either, if somebody knows, they could share that with us. He either won a division of the jug or was second, I believe.
Oh.
One of those. But Terry Holton, this Terry Holton Youth Driving Series, a lot of the best drove in that. The guys that went on to be big drivers.
Yeah.
And his son Ryan is Ryan and
Holly.
Yeah, what's
Holly.
Yes.
Yep. Ryan and Holly Holton are doing that. So it's. Yeah, it's a nice thing. For those of you who go to Harness Racing Ohio to get your programs and to look at replays, I want you to also notice the Hall of Fame. Ohio Harness Racing Hall of Fame is up there now. When you go to that page, there's a little button to push for Hall of Fame, and it's getting filled up. We're getting Wes Mayberry, one of our new employees at OHHA, has been writing some really great stories about people, horses, so go there and look. And as I said before, please, if you have any stories or anything that you want to share about somebody in the Hall of Fame, either a horse or a person, let us know, because we'd like to bring that to everybody. Getting a little chilly.
Yes,
in the grandstand.
I missed my call. I wouldn't be a good weatherman. I said it wasn't going to be a hard rain.
Right. You were kind of wrong there. Well, Frank Frost just said he was blaming it on you, but I got to say I'm going to blame it on Frank, because whenever he comes to the fair,
I think it's harder than it was the first time around. First go round.
This is definitely harder, and
I think
possibly longer at this point too.
Yeah.
It's been coming down pretty hard for a while. I've got a tarp down by the tote stuff that I was going to let him borrow. If he's not using it, I'm going to go get it and put it on my stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try and get my sweatshirt on here. cold and wet. I mean, this track is really wet right now. I don't see a way that they're going to be able to come back and race today. But we're going to hang out here for a little while until they get the official call. Oh my! It's we have a river coming down the grandstand here.
Oh my!
Yeah,
oh, right behind it.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think I better pick up my backpack.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's
it
coming
looks like,
down, blowing in from the top and just rolling down the steps.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
Right beside you. Yes, it does not look too good right now.
No.
At all. So we got 5 in. Was it 5, I believe? Yeah. Just got a text from Jay Wolf showing the weather. There's a big red cell right over Marion. So, nope.
I missed the weather report. It's pretty flooded downstairs. This was Eric Corman.
It's rolling right down it's coming in the back of the grandstand. See it?
Oh yeah,
coming right down here.
Right at my electric.
Yes, that's what I was just thinking. If you, I don't know if you can put things up on the seat, but it is coming down. It's just like a little river.
Yep, that's not great.
Got to kind of decide what we want to save. We want to save everything that's electrical, that's for sure.
We're back at it here tomorrow, right now, an 11 o'clock post time.
Here comes.
With 20, and here comes the water this way now.
Oh, boy, yeah.
I think we better get this stuff up. And
should we just start it over when they come back?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to be racing anytime soon.
No, I don't
that's
think
very
so.
true. So
It's
we're going to
rolling in here.
We're going to cut it out now because the rain is pouring into our electrical. So we'll let you know. We'll keep you updated what's happening. But as for right now, we're going to go right off the air.